Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. I know that a lot of people are really hyped after the win, after the win the Lakers just had and the performance that LeBron James had. And let's just face it, it was a spectacular performance, right? You saw the shots that he was hitting. He was hitting some clutch shots. He scored a big 39 points. He was playing really well. He was, flexing his muscle. He was on his big daddy, right? He was definitely doing his thing. But I think in the midst of all of that and all of that excitement, no one is really addressing the elephant in the room. And what is the elephant in the room? In the midst of all of this excitement, we're forgetting the fact that the Lakers are still a 500 team. If you listen to some of the people in media talk about the Lakers after that win, you would have thought that they just they just beat an opponent to advance to the second round. When in reality, they beat an Indiana Pacers team. Now, the impressive part about that win was that, yes, they were able to come back from behind and win the game, but it wasn't really, they didn't really play great defense if you looked at the score and all that. So there was some issues there that a lot of people kind of overlooked, and they just kind of went straight to the hype, right? Even when we covered, that game and that performance, I still pointed to the fact that I thought, listen, this team is still too reliant upon the services and in that case the heroics of LeBron. I said there has to be another way for this team to win on a more consistent level, and it cannot be that you expect LeBron James to score 37, 39 points every night to just gut out some victories, right? Not when you have a player like Anthony Davis and a player like Russell Westbrook on your roster, and you're sitting there and you're just like throwing all of the burden on a 37-year-old to go out there and pretty much save the day. I didn't think that was a recipe for winning. I've been saying all season long that I think the Lakers need to start winning games in a hurry. Quick, fast, in a hurry, right? I've been saying that. I said they cannot afford to continuously lose so many games, especially this early in the season, because I felt as if it was going to come back later on in the season and bite them in the butt. Now, when I said this, right, whenever we would post polls on our channels, we would say these things on our video, there was a reoccurring theme of some people out there saying, no, it's still early. Some people, LOL, LMAO, it's so early. Y'all are tripping, LMAO, right? And I'm looking at these dudes. They think they're laughing at me. They don't realize that they're not making any sense, and they're not really taking a holistic point of view on this particular matter. People are laughing, and they feel like as if they were saying something, and I'm telling them time is going. I've given you guys so many different analogies. No one really wanted to pay attention to it because they feel like as if, he's up here hating him, whatever. But it turns out that one of the greatest Lakers of all time, Shaquille O'Neal, also feels the same way. Shaquille O'Neal also shares some of the same sentiments that I share in regard to this team not winning enough games right now. So what we want to do is we want to play some of the things that he had to say on Inside the NBA, regarding the Lakers and them needing to play with a little bit more urgency and starting to win more games. So before we go too far, take a listen to some of the comments that Shaq had to say.
You have to have a style of play. And just my looking at what their personnel is, Russell Westbrook is great at pushing the basketball. Yeah. So we're going to say every time he touches it, from free throw line to free throw line, he's going to get it there as fast as he can. And then we're going to back out, and then we'll go either inside to LeBron, or if LeBron has it, we can play at a different place when he comes back. But when he's not there, free throw line, then you know what you're doing. Like, to me, I have no idea.
If they keep playing like this, Laxadays go using the switch. They're going to be in the 8th spot. They're going up against Golden State.
Smacking.
They're getting blown out. They keep playing like this and, go on a little winning streak, they'll be in the 7th spot. They're going to play Utah. They're going to get blown out. They need to pick it up now so they can get, possibly a home court advantage to stay away from Utah and Golden State in the first round. Because you don't want to, because remember this summer when they was putting this team together, everybody was ooh and ah. You want to get blown out in the first round.
More ah now.
Now in that audio clip, if I'm not mistaken, Shaq is essentially saying what I've been saying all along. Literally, he is saying exactly what I've been saying. I said that if they continue to lose games, they are going to end up putting themselves in a position in which they get to the end of the season and they have to play a very, very tough first round opponent. If you all remember, one of the reasons that they lost last year, yes, Anthony Davis was injured, but guess what? A lot of players were nicked up going into the playoffs. But the primary reason I believe that the Lakers lost was that they ended up playing, I believe it was the number 2 seed. Yes, because they played the play, they were the number 7 seed. But they ended up playing the number 2 seed, who would eventually go on to make it to the NBA Finals in the Phoenix Suns, and they lost. They ended up playing a very, very good team. They would have been able to avoid that entire scenario had they had a higher seed. If they were the number 6th, 5th, 4th seed, they would have completely avoided that scenario. They would have been playing a weaker team, and then probably they would have been able to advance to the next round. But that's not what happened. And I said, early out this season, I said if the Lakers are not careful, they're going to find themselves in that particular, and they're going to find themselves in the same scenario as they did last season. I think right now, as we currently speak, I believe the Lakers are the number 9 seed. Now, some people will say, well, it's still early. Listen, a quarter of the season is gone. A quarter of the season is gone, and they're a 500 team. Of the first 15 games that they played this season, 12 of them were at home. So that stimulus package, or whatever you want to call it, they weren't able to capitalize on that. You get 12 out of the first 15 games to start a season, and you somehow still end up with a 500 record after 20 games. That's not very good. And I said they need to start making up some ground. And how do they make up this ground? People are like, how did they make it up? How did they make it up? First of all, one of the things they need to do is improve their defense. The year that they won the championship, I think they were the number 1 ranked defensive rated team. Now I think they're in the middle of the pack. I think they're somewhere in the 20s. Number 1, the Lakers need to start playing better defense, period, end of story. There's no 2 ways to say it. There's no other way to slice it. There's no other way for me to put any, to manicure it. They need to play better defense, number 1. Number 2, they need to limit their turnovers. Last time I checked, I looked at the stat, they were averaging 16.8 turnovers a game. That's number 2 in the NBA. That's just too many turnovers. Even if you watch that game between the Lakers and the Indiana Pacers, there was some turnovers at Russell, especially early in the game. Russell Westbrook, a lot of people sit there and try to figure out why this team, finds themselves in a hole a lot of times. Because Westbrook is just out there throwing the ball away. He'll throw the ball away. The team, the opposing team gets the ball. They capitalize on that. Before you know, you're digging yourself in a hole. Before you know it, you're trailing early in the game, right? They need to limit their turnovers. They need to start shooting a better percentage from the floor now, from the field, from the 3. And in that game, especially late in that game, some of the key Laker players were able to step up big time and make some shots. But I think if the Lakers are sitting there feeling as if they're going to be able to flip the switch, I think they're going to find themselves in a world of trouble. That's what Shaq said. He said you can't just sit there and expect yourself to to flip the switch. And I'm going to give you guys a quick example of I'm going to try to give you guys a practical application of some of this point that I'm trying to make, and hopefully this drives this point home for you. Imagine you're trying to lose weight. Take me, for example. Let's say I have a wedding in April, right? Let's say I have a wedding in April. And today is what? Let's say this is November, right? We're getting ready to go into December. And I tell myself, hey, man, I want to lose 40 pounds, right? And I want to lose 40 pounds by my wedding so I can look good in my suit, so I can look good in the pictures, right? Then I have some person come up to me and tell me, hey, Charles, man, just take it easy, man. You can kind of have cheat meals here and there during the week. It's fine. You don't really have to worry. You have 5 months. Right? You're 5 months away. There's no big deal. Guess what happens if I don't start taking my weight loss seriously and I don't try to get consistent and start building the right habits to lose weight? Guess what's going to happen? And if I keep telling myself, oh, I have 5 months left, guess what's going to happen? You're going to look up and you're going to look back. You're going to realize you're a month and a half away from the wedding, and you have 25 pounds to lose. And now at that point, you're going to start stressing yourself, restricting yourself, putting yourself on all kind of crazy diets, going to the gym 5-6 days a week, trying to lose that weight. When instead, all you had to do was just be consistent, go to the gym 3-4 times a week, eat clean, and you would have been losing the weight easily. But if you want to wait till the last minute and keep telling yourself, oh, I have time, it's only 5 months away. Okay, you'll pay for that. You will pay for it. The work you don't do now, you're going to do it later. And that's what's happening. People keep telling themselves this story. Oh, it's only like 75% of the season left. Everything will be okay. Keep playing all the games with yourself. Eventually, these games that you lose, you will need to make it back. And you will need to get them back. And that is why I said, and that is why Shaq is saying, they need to get on the ball. You need to start rolling now. You don't want to get into February and you now start scrambling to play well because you're the number 7 seed in the West. And now we have to scramble because now we want to make sure we're not in the play-in tournament when teams are really going to start peaking in March and April going into the playoffs. And that's when you want to turn on the switch. So if that's what some people are advocating for, good luck with that. So the question to you guys is this. Do you agree with Shaq? Do you agree with the points that he's making? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, it's just Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.